What is good, everybody? Man, it's your boy Jay in the building. We is back again with another video. Alright, so we have Coach Prime's press conference recapping his game. I'm sure recapping his game versus Campbell and talking about the upcoming game versus Southern. So, I didn't get to hear this today, so I'm about to find out exactly what he is talking about. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. Let's get this thing started, man.
Good morning, Coach Prime. How are you,
Yes,
sir?
Awesome. Glad everyone's here. Blessed.
Let me see what you got.
Favorite. Wonderful game. Coach Bender had his guys
ready to play.
Game. They were tough. They was physical, fast, smart. They came to play some football. That's what we expected.
They did.
He took advantage of a tremendous opportunity in his kids' ball. So hats off to him, hats off to his program, and I'm a fan of he and his program. We overcame tremendous adversity. They kind of took away the pass a little bit by the coverages that they played, but we came out of there with 184 yards rushing.
That'll do it.
Savion Wilkerson. Field goal kicker, Alejandro was awesome as usual. Game with Sam Johnson was awesome as usual.
100%.
We kicked off the ball well. Special teams did their part. Team effort, coaches coached their butts off, made tremendous adjustments at halftime. And defense is what it is. I'm looking at they rushed for $134, 3.1 per carry. They only threw for 137 yards. We gave up a couple things that we shouldn't have allowed that. But overall, great win, great team effort, which we're 7-0, and I'm proud of that.
Good win. That was a good win.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. Our first question comes from Charles Bishop.
How you doing, Coach?
How you doing, sir?
Hey, I want to start off, you mentioned it in your opening statement with regards to facing adversity, and you touched on it in the walkthrough, how you said that there will be a time where they will face adversity. How gratifying is it to know that your team responds to that and has been able to overcome whatever adversity they faced thus far this season?
Well, I'm happy that their coach for that. Coach is doing a heck of a job. I mean, a heck of preparing them for the different things and what we go over in the morning meetings with different videos, different speeches to really prepare them not only for football but for life's adversities. And the kids responded. They responded well. We fumbled in red zone, I believe. We threw an interception in the red zone. We
both in the second half
in the red zone. We left 21 points out there, and that to me, that's adversity. And they had like a 4th and short at the beginning of the game. They went for it on our side of the field, which would have changed the whole darn game at the onset. But they got it, and they went on as well. But that's adversity right there. Someone in your home, on your homecoming, going for it on that side of the field, that was tremendous. But that's believing in your team. That's why I got a lot of love and respect for the coaching staff.
And look, that was game one of their next two games are definitely going to be the hardest part of their schedule. Like Campbell was the first test, and now you have Southern at home, which I believe that this is probably going to be the best defense they'll play against all year, especially like their front seven with Trey Lynn and Caleb Gibbons and Jordan Lewis, and Joe Dumars, this defense right here, especially this front seven. This is definitely gonna be the best defense that they go up against. So it's gonna be real important that Shedeur Sanders takes care of the ball. You have to limit your turnovers, and each time you get in the red zone, you can't just score field goals. You have to score touchdowns, because Southern's offense is pretty good too. And as a matter of fact, these are the top two teams in the SWAC, especially when it comes to scoring offense and scoring defense, rushing offense. And matter of fact, Southern is the number one team in the SWAC in rushing. And their second in rush defense. They're They're number 2 in pass defense. So both these teams are the cream of the crop when it comes to the SWAC this year. Like, you know what I'm saying? So Jackson State is gonna have to do a good job of just taking care of the football because they're going up against a tough defense. You know what I'm saying? So it's good. It's gonna be tough.
Our next question comes from Dr. Cavill.
Good afternoon, Coach Prime.
How you doing, sir?
Doing well. Talked about getting some key players back on the defensive side of the ball, and that included Travis Hunter. But we saw him on the offense in terms of getting some time in there for 4 receptions, 24 yards. Right. Talk about what he was able to do coming back into the game, also as well as another freshman top 100 recruit, if you would, in terms of Kevin Coleman that continues to get some things done with the reception in there and also in terms of what he did on the kickoff.
Well, we're excited about the freshmen that we have. We take a lot of pride in that because we don't take too many kids out of high school. We live in and we eat from the portal. We don't die from nothing. I hate that word, but we eat from the portal. So those guys are truly contributing. When you talk about someone like Travis, yeah, I mean, he places fear in people's heart when he's on the offense or defensive side of the ball. I think they had several attempts at him, but it wasn't insignificant at all. And he's just a solid player. Offensively, we targeted him 5 times and hit him 4. That's pretty darn good. We should be better. We got a little happy going to him on the goal line. I felt like we should just ran the darn football. You know, while we're trying to throw a fade stop to Travis when we got a guy 6'4" on the other side of the darn field. So those little things we got to correct. But I'm happy with the way it turned out. I'm happy with the contribution from our freshmen. And please don't forget Mr. Mata. Please don't forget Mr. Mata. Whenever you give me a lineup of freshmen, only kicks that he missed has been blocked.
Yeah, that's true.
Get whoever allowed that block off that team so they don't block anymore. But Mr. Mata has been our go-to. I mean, when we get across that 50-yard line, it's Mata time. You know, it don't matter where he at. He's going to make it, all right?
Oh, my God.
That's what we say. That's my little squiggy, man. I love him to life. We got a great kicking staff. I call them staff because they like grown men. They do a phenomenal job. That's the biggest upgrade we've had this year. Not offensively, not defensively, but the kicking unit has been phenomenal. Exactly. Those guys are good.
Because last year, if they was in that same position last year, the kicker from last year, he misses a lot of those kicks. And like I said before, I don't know if anybody caught the video that I did yesterday or Sunday or whatever, but with the upgraded offensive line, upgraded kicking, you know, and just like I think just in an upgraded running game. Those 3 things won them that game versus Campbell. Because anything less than that, Jackson State don't win that game. Especially with them only converting on 2 third downs. You know what I'm saying? Like, they definitely have to get that up. But, yeah, like, those 3 things were the main upgrades that they needed. And they got that in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so the kicking game definitely kept them ahead in this game, so it was definitely good for them. Definitely good for them.
Our next question comes from Zach McKinnell.
Okay.
Great. How you doing, Coach?
How you doing, sir?
And you just mentioned your kicker being almost automatic this season outside of some blocks, but we know in the red zone you guys want to get 7 points if you can. Right. What's been the message from the staff, and what have you guys seen on film on how you guys can turn some of these red zone opportunities into 7 rather than 3 moving forward?
We got to run the ball. We got to be more aggressive with the run. Everyone knows we got a quarterback that can spin it, and we got receivers that can go get it. So oftentimes those teams are dropping 7, they're dropping 8, and we just got to go get it. We got to run the football, hard nose, and we got to score. So that's pretty much the formula. We just got to want it a lot more than they do not want us to score. It's just attitude there. And the red zone is straight out attitude. It has nothing to do with tremendous amount of scheme because DBs could be brave because you don't have a 10 or 15 yards to darn cover. Anybody could do that, you know. Mm-hmm. So we just gotta want it a lot more than they want it.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we have time for 2 more questions. Jim Kleinpeter.
Hi, Coach. Yes, would you talk a little bit about Southern and what impresses you about them overall, and especially their quarterback, Bashawn McCray?
Southern's a good, solid football team. I mean, I'm not going to say what transpired last year because it's a new coaching staff. So you got to really think about our Prairie View. You got to really, think about some things of where the coach comes from and what transpired there with him, if I'm correct. But they're a tough football team, man. I'm not going to sit up there and say this guy, because we have a really good football team as well. And you talk about their quarterback, we have a really good quarterback as well. And we got some guys that can really rush the passer as well. Defensively, they're going to have a problem. It's easy to sit up there and lift them up, which they're well coached. They're a team that's pretty good. Games like this is going to come down to being disciplined. Remember that. It's going to come down to being disciplined. The penalties, the dumb bonehead plays that some kids may have at certain times, blowing coverages and doing things they shouldn't do at the most opportune time. It's going to come to discipline, and that's who's going to take this game home, the most disciplined team.
And you have to remember that they're going up against a different quarterback than last year. Bashawn McCray can not only throw the ball, but he's a dynamic runner. Top 5, top 10 rusher in the SWAC so far. Matter of fact, I think he's their leading rusher. I think he's Southern's leading rusher and their number 1 in the SWAC in rushing. And with their quarterback being their leading rusher, that's something that you're going to always have to worry about. Like with Hodge, like with Campbell, Hodge he's a good runner, but he'll kill you on a run if you let him, but he's not gonna take off and run all the time. But Bashawn McCray does. Like he will take they have a lot of design runs for him. You know what I'm saying? So he's not only a threat to throw the ball, he's a definite threat to run the ball as well. And he's fast too. And that's something that Southern didn't have last year. So I think that's what makes them more dangerous because they have a lot of pieces around them. And they really wanted to be a throwing team, but they couldn't do it because McDaniel wasn't that accurate of a quarterback. So now that they have a guy like McCray who can not only throw the ball well, but he can also do things that McDaniel can't do. So I think that's going to be something that Jackson State is going to have to put in the back of their heads that, this guy is matter of fact, he's probably the best running quarterback in this SWAC. Definitely the best running quarterback in this SWAC. So I think that's something that they are definitely going to have to look out for, in my opinion.
All right, our next question from Kyle Mosley.
Hey, Coach Prime, how are you doing?
How you doing, sir?
Good. Hey, look, you have been covered by 60 Minutes and as well as my affiliates with Sports Illustrated. You talked to the P-Valley cast about how they have touched different demographics, and I know that the HBCU landscape has been opened up because of your contributions as well. How important is it for us to moving forward to keep the message out there to the mainstream media and people who are not familiar with HBCUs?
I think it's very important. You got to understand, P-Valley is a wonderful show, which should be an award-winning show that touches all demographics, all social climates, and whosoever will. Shouldn't we be like that as men and women? We should not be judgmental by any means. We should open our arms and our hearts to everyone and show them love and respect and appreciation. And I feel like that's what we should do with HBCUs. We got to open our hearts and our minds to changes, to different ideologies and just different thoughts and proceed with those thoughts and make them manifest. We can't be narrow-minded and closed-minded thinking and saying, well, it worked like this 25 years. No, it really didn't. It really didn't. We say it did, but it really didn't. And no one talks about the truth of the matter of we have some dysfunction and we need to fix it. So I'm just willing to go out there and step out and say, you know what? I want all to come. I want to invite everybody. I don't know who's coming this week. We got a whole lineup of people that we could choose. And we're going to keep on continuing to do what we do because we're trying to reach and teach and touch the majority, not the minority. We've already touched the minority.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Coach Prime, we thank you, and good luck.
Look, they had Rick Ross, guys from P Valley, and Snoop Dogg at homecoming. And now they're about to have college game day come this week. Lord knows who he's going to have on the sideline and who he's going to have come to this game, man. And you know what's crazy? Dog, Josh, I don't know why, because this game is going to be played at 2 o'clock, my time, Eastern time. It's going to be played at 2 o'clock. I don't know why this game ain't being played at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. This should be a prime time game. Like, man, I don't know why it's not being played late. But yeah, man. Now, what Coach Prime has been doing a real good job of with these guys is that they haven't let the spotlight get to them. Like, everybody knows that there are millions of people watching Jackson State. And all they have been doing is winning games. This defense has been performing all year long. Defense has been good all year long. They still only let up 10 points a game still. One of the best in the country. You know, so Coach Prime has really been doing a good job with these boys, man. And they definitely have another tough task ahead of them. So, in the next video, I definitely want to look and see what Coach Dooley has to say about his team in Jackson State this week, man. So, but this is going to be a hell of a football game to watch, bro. I promise.